This is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello and welcome. I'm Gamachi Samandida with the news from POA that brings the latest from across Africa. Gabon's government and a coalition of donors have signed an agreement aimed at protecting 34,000 square kilometers of the country's Congo Basin rainforests. Dubbed Gabon Infinity, the plan will combine $94 million of donor money from the likes of the Global Environment Facility and the Bezos Earth Fund with $86 million of government funding over a 10-year period. It aims to finance new national parks, tackle elephant poaching and boost ecotourism using what is known as a project finance for performance model, an approach that binds the disbursement of funding to key government policy changes. The model is gaining popularity. Brazil announced a similar agreement on Monday covering nearly 243,000 square kilometers of the Amazon rainforest, while Kenya and Namibia are also in the process of finalizing deals. Gabon represents a crucial ecological anchor within the vast Congo Basin. Almost 90% of its territory is covered by tropical rainforest, home to more than half of the world's remaining African forest elephants, as well as a quarter of surviving western lowland gorillas. Moving to South Africa, Johannesburg is hosting the 2025 G20 Leaders Summit this week, bringing international delegates and global attention to South Africa. Barry Everett, CEO of Chas Everett International, calls it a powerful showcase for both tourism and real estate. Tourism contributes around 8.8% of South Africa's GDP and supports 1.7 million jobs. From January to September 2025, the country welcomed over 7.6 million international visitors, up more than 1.1 million from the same period in 2024. With the summit, over 160,000 additional livelihoods are expected to benefit directly or indirectly. Major events like the FIFA World Cup 2010 and the 2023 BRICS and AGOA summits have previously shown how delegates often return as property investors, home buyers, or repeat tourists. The G20 summit is expected to drive demand for hotels, resorts, business parks, logistics hubs, and residential developments. Everett notes that the ultimate benefit to the property market comes from job creation. More tourism means more jobs, and that means thousands of South Africans will steadily incomes, able to rent or buy decent homes, he said. The international MICE sector meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions is also projected to expand. South Africa currently holds a $6.6 billion share of the global market, which could quadruple by 2031, further boosting tourism-linked property and infrastructure investment. Moving to Nigeria, Nigeria has launched a new initiative, Diaspora Returns Beyond Business Borders, to attract investment and strengthen ties with its diaspora. The program, unveiled by Strategic Solutions Global, aims to generate significant economic and social impact across the country. Over 60 diaspora delegates are expected to inject an initial $500,000 in local spending, creating more than 200 short-term jobs. Long-term, the initiative seeks to convert Nigeria's $10 billion annual remittances into structured co-investments, with delegates committing $10 million in letters of intent within 18 months. The project will foster opportunities in real estate, agriculture, technology, and creative industries, and support women-centered community projects through partnerships with DEPOWA, and the First Ladies Forum of Nigeria. Strategic partners including Parton Morgan Holdings and Atlanta-based stakeholders will provide platforms for collaboration and sustainable wealth creation. Women's participation in digital entrepreneurship in Tunisia has surged by 35% over the past 5 years, with 40% of startups created since 2020, including at least one female co-founder, according to Industry, Mines and Energy Minister Fatma Thabit. Speaking at the International Council for Women's Entrepreneurship Conference in Tunis, Thabit highlighted Tunisia's regional leadership in integrating gender equality into economic modernization. Women now make up 60% of university graduates, 72% of engineering graduates in industrial and tech fields, and lead 25% of Tunisian companies, well above regional averages. In industry, 42% of the manufacturing workforce is female, with 500 industrial firms managed by women. Women also hold more than 30% of executive roles in pharmaceuticals, biotech, medical devices, and technical textiles. Thabit noted strong female leadership in renewable energy, where women account for 30% of new engineers and lead solar projects across Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. Malaysian Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has arrived in Addis Ababa for a 3-day official visit, where he was warmly welcomed by Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Abiy described Anwar's visit as a testament to the growing friendship and solidarity between the two nations. Ethiopia is the first stop in Anwar's 3-day country African tour, which aims to strengthen multilateral cooperation, expand economic and investment opportunities, and deepen diplomatic ties. His program in Ethiopia includes meeting with top officials, industry leaders, and business community. From Addis Ababa, Anwar will travel to Johannesburg to attend the G20 Leaders Summit and meet South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. He will then continue to Nairobi for discussions with President William Ruto to enhance bilateral cooperation and explore new partnerships.
This is Africa, the cradle of humanity, the frontier of the future, a land of visionaries, creators and pioneers, a continent of unstoppable energy where innovation meets tradition, where voices rise, loud and fearless.
I am an African.
This is the heartbeat of a billion people, diverse, bold, united by a single purpose to tell our own stories in our own way. No borders, no barriers, no filters. A new era of African storytelling is here. From every corner of the continent, from the bustling cities to the quiet village, we tell Africa's story by Africans for the world. This is the land of a rising Africa, where Africa speaks and the world listens. This is why today we bring you POA, Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Now to business news. Ethiopia is making strategic reforms to become a global powerhouse in pulses and oilseeds exports. Trade Minister Kasahun Gofe said at the 14th International Pulses and Oilseeds Conference in Addis Ababa. The reforms include opening markets to foreign investors, adopting a market-driven exchange rate, strengthening agro-processing for value addition, and creating jobs. Pulses and oilseeds contributed over $610 million last fiscal year, accounting for 7.35% of the country's $8.3 billion export earnings. Trade and Regional Integration Minister Kasahun Gofe highlighted Ethiopia's unwavering commitment to becoming a global leader in the export of pulses and oilseeds through various reforms.
Ethiopia is implementing significant reforms to transform its trade sector by lifting restrictions on foreign involvement in export, import, wholesale and retail trade. This marks a substantial shift from historically protectionist policies towards a more liberalized market approach aimed at attracting foreign investment. A key success has been the liberalization of commodity exports, allowing foreign buyers to purchase directly from Ethiopian farmers and processors.
Former Prime Minister and AGRA Chairman Hailemariam Desalegn described pulses and oilseeds as strategic commodities essential for feeding a growing population while meeting rising global demand for plant-based diets.
Today, the global demand for plant-based proteins and edible oils continues to rise across Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. This is reflected in the pulses industry, projected to grow from over $82 billion in 2005 to $143 billion by 2035 at an average annual rate of 6%.
Global demand is expected to rise from $82 billion in 2025 to $143 billion by 2035, reflecting strong opportunities for Ethiopia and Africa. Millions of smallholder farmers are actively contributing to production. AGRA, in partnership with the government, aims to raise domestic edible oil production from 2% to 50% by 2028, while expanding market access and boosting farmer incomes. Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema met with China Railway Construction Corporation Chairman Dai Higan to advance plans to revitalizing the historic Tazara Railway, which connects Zambia to Tanzania's Dar es Salaam port. Built in the 1970s with support from China, Tazara remains a key economic corridor with potential in mining, agriculture and energy. Modernization will unlock regional growth and strengthen cooperation among Zambia, China and Tanzania. President Hichilema welcomed CRCC investment in Zambia's energy sector and will meet Chinese Premier Li Qiang to formalize the revitalization program with Tanzania, ensuring the railway serves current and future generations. Moving to sports news, Matt Smith, 34 from Cape Town, will make history as South Africa's first cross-country skier at the Winter Olympics in over a decade. Nicknamed the Snowball, he qualified for the 2026 Games in northern Italy after taking up skiing less than 3 years ago. A former tech entrepreneur, Smith moved to Norway in 2020 to embrace cross-country skiing and earned his FIS code in 2023 through self-funded training. He now trains in Oslo's Holmenkollen and aims to inspire athletes from small nations rather than chase medals. Smith is South Africa's first Winter Olympian in cross-country skiing since Oliver Crass competed at the 2010 Vancouver Games. Finally, 2 African countries have qualified for the FIFA U17 World Cup quarter-final stage in Qatar. This follows the conclusion of the final round of 16 stage fixtures played on Tuesday. Daily Post reports that the 2 countries that have reached the knockout stage are Burkina Faso and Morocco. Burkina Faso and Morocco advanced to the last 8 after beating Uganda and Mali, respectively. Now let's take a look at the latest weather forecast. Thank you for tuning into Pulse of African News. Stay with us for more important stories from across the continent.